Hi everybody, Miss-Elaineous here, and for those of you who are new to my channel, this is where I take you to see offbeat, quirky and interesting tourist attractions. Today we have been to Valence House, which is the last surviving manor house in Dagenham, Essex. There has been a house on this site since medieval times, and this house dates back to the 13th century. Come and take a walk in my shoes and we'll go take a look at the lake and we'll go take a look at the garden. Then we'll pop inside and I will show you the world's smallest khazi. Really, I've no idea how anyone fitted in here. They must have been extremely skinny. I will show you how the walls were made. And finally, I will show you the Dagenham Idol. Now that has nothing to do with Stacey Solomon. Remember to give me a thumbs up, remember to subscribe and do click on that notifications bell. I will see you in the video.
Now the house is partially surrounded by a moat and was refurbished extensively as a museum in 2010. Valence House holds 200,000 artefacts dating from prehistory to the modern day, plus material from local Barking and Dagenham archaeological digs. Here's the museum entrance. In the first room we learnt about the history of the house, and here is a model of the site as it was in 1921. I headed over to the Great Parlor. This is my favourite room, with its dark wooden panelling. And I was greeted by this little guy. He is a Dagenham Idol and was found locally in 1922. He is made of wood and dates from around 2250 BC, making him one of the oldest human representations in Europe. As I mentioned, the Dagenham Idol is not to be confused with the Pop Idol, won by local girl Stacey Solomon. Or was it X Factor she took part in? And wasn't she just a runner-up? Either way, he's the Dagenham Idol. We have a big grand piano here. And the world's smallest khazi. This would have contained peat, which was changed regularly. Yeah, you would have to be tiny to fit in there. This part of the gallery is about ancient times. Little Miss Macabre would be interested in matey here. This stone coffin was discovered during groundworks in the back garden of a house locally in Barking in November 1931. It contained parts of several skeletons and fragments of a 3rd century pot. We have soldiers fighting there. Here is Barking Abbey, which is fairly local. I have vlogged about Barking Abbey too, so do check it out. Going up the stairs and we have linear representations on the walls, including local boy Bobby Moore. He's from Barking. He was the England captain when England won the World Cup in 1966. Now, this section is about famous people who were born in or who resided in the area. Singers Sandy Shaw and Billy Bragg get a mention, as well as a selection of footballers. It also mentions iconic visitors, one of whom was Mahatma Gandhi, who was in the area in 1931. There was a lot going on in this section, with cabinets dedicated to how people both worked. The Ford car plant in Dagenham gets a mention, of course, and played. There is a cabinet full of trophies, and the women's movement gets a mention. Got some dresses here too. Sporting legends behind that. A beacon tree kitchen. I believe this is based on homes during the Second World War. There were some things here that my mum had. She had a meat grinder, like those bolted down to the side, and a bread tin like that. We have healthcare represented, medicines behind that. A beacon tree living room. Employment in the area and situations vacant. I knew someone who used to make rag rugs like that. She made me one. Now, I had to pause at the toy section. I absolutely loved my dollies as a child. They were my world. I once said to my mum, dolls are not just dolls. They are little children who have died. She said it was the creepiest thing anyone had ever said to her. Here's me playing with some of the toys here. In here we have a cuddly teddy. I was pressing his stomach to see if he squeaked, but he didn't. He didn't squeak or roar. This is about recreation in the area, park life and holidays. There are plenty of paintings for you to feast your eyes upon here. Nautical life and Dagenham docks. Don't forget to check out my blog. I will always be a writer before anything else. In here we have mayoral roads. This is about the development of the new town and the factories here. Again, I love the wood panelling. It's very creaky to walk around here though. This is about urban development. Here's me just having a basic nose around the corridors. And some of these sections were out of bounds, they're for staff only. Heading down the stairs, and I just love the candy twist curly balusters. More paintings. It's free to enter this museum, and it's certainly worth an hour of your time. Now, this is a cinema type room, and they had a commentary on at the time. It seemed to be quite political. I dare say they change them from time to time depending on what's going on. Now, this room is about the Fanshaws. Valence House estate was acquired by William Fanshaw in 1619 and remained within the family for nearly 3 centuries. He worked as a clerk in Elizabeth I's exchequer. They do have changing exhibitions in these rooms. I have seen one before about the Fanshaw family's portraits and copies of portraits. These are wig curlers. This is an original wall. This one was part of the pantry. Again, there's me being a nosy Parker. And behind that we have another original wall. Very interesting. This is about the women's fight for equal pay. Us modern girls owe a lot to ladies like those. And this section is devoted to the whaling industry. It was all going on locally. Now we're heading outside by the lake. Rather disappointingly, I couldn't walk around here. Last time I could. I don't know why it's been closed off. I would say due to some kind of health and safety issue. Maybe there's been some kind of slippage with the land off the bank. We have geese, we have ducks, and we have children screaming in the playground next door. Here I am walking back to the museum. And I've slowed you down to look at this outside representation of the Dagenham Idol. This is a lovely piece of modern art. Here I am heading into the garden and Valence House hold events for both adults and children. I came to a rather good cocktail night last year. We paid only £25 and we got 4 cocktails for that plus nibbles. But there was a slight twist to it, as we had to come in here and forage for the decorations that went on our cocktails. These were things such as marigold leaves and lavender and rosemary. But my dad grew some of these, so I knew what I was looking for. Now this is the wartime garden. We've got an air raid shelter in the corner and I love the screech tap here. Aside from the cocktails, we also had entertainment in the form of a belly dancing lesson, and then we had music bingo, which I won. I won a strawberry-shaped jar full of sweeties. Well, I've eaten all the sweeties, but I still have the jar. It sits atop my fridge. now I think we can safely assume that this rusty Mark II Capri is an art installation, and not a car that was stolen, joyridden and ran out the night before. This really is a hidden gem coming here. It's something of a find in Dagenham. Behind where I'm standing here is the Learning Centre. I will leave you with a view of the shop and the lovely little cafe.
Thank you for watching, and I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed this, you might like watching my other Barking and Dagenham videos. The link is here. Come and see me soon for another miscellaneous adventure. Remember to give me a thumbs up, click the notifications bell, and don't forget to subscribe. Until then, ta-ta for now.